Hi guys, I remember reading some years ago about how the introduction of the smartphone and an internet connection allowed, for example, an Asian farmer living in a remote part of the world to access more information than the president of the US 20 years earlier. Nobody today has a reason not to understand some basic things, and you certainly can't have an excuse if you're the current president of the United States. But here we are. Donald Trump is about to apply 25% tariffs on imported goods from the European Union, for reasons that make little or no sense. But the cherry on the cake is why Agent Orange believes the EU was founded in the first place. Have a listen to this.
Mr. President, have you just made a decision on what level you will seek on tariffs in the European Union?
We have made a decision. We'll be announcing it very soon, and it'll be 25%. Generally speaking, and that'll be on cars and all other things. And European Union is a different case than Canada, different kind of case. They've really taken advantage of us in a different way. They don't accept our cars. They don't accept essentially our farm products. They use all sorts of reasons why not. And we accept everything of them. And we have about a $300 billion deficit with the European Union. Now, I love the countries of Europe. I guess I'm from there at some point a long time ago, right? But indirectly, pretty directly too, I guess. But I love the countries of Europe. I love all countries, frankly, all different. But the European Union's it was formed in order to screw the United States. I mean, look, let's be honest. The European Union was formed in order to screw the United States. That's the purpose of it. And they've done a good job of it, but now...
Okay, so the European Union was formed in order to screw over the United States. He obviously doesn't know, or he's pretending not to know, the real reason why the European Economic Community was set up. It was to end war in Europe, to make it materially impossible to start war again. It was about bringing nations that had been warring for centuries, bring them together in order to trade with each other and to build a community together. That's the obvious reason behind the European Economic Community and later the European Union. Now, what he's of course talking about once again is how the European Union is not willing to accept certain US products while the US is willing to accept European products. But it comes down to standards. If you want to sell goods into the single market or into the EU, you need to meet European standards. If you're not meeting those standards, then you can't sell the goods. It's as simple as that. Now, somebody needs to explain this to Donald Trump because he doesn't seem to get it. It's been explained to him by other people on a number of occasions, but just doesn't get through his thick skull. So, if the US wants to sell goods into the European Union, into the single market, then it has to meet those standards. Now, it does meet certain standards on certain goods. For example, certain organic produce is sold in the European Union from the United States because it meets the standard that the European Union has set. It works both ways. If European countries want to sell goods into the United States, then the United States has certain standards that they have to meet. Trump doesn't seem to understand that, or people around Trump haven't explained that to him. So his response, of course, is, well, we're going to slap a tariff on that. Now, will it impact the cost of goods being brought in? Of course it will. It will make European imported goods more expensive for American consumers. Is it going to harm EU exporters? Well, in some ways, yes. In some ways, no. Because if the goods are not produced in the United States, then the consumer in the United States will just pay the higher cost. If it is produced and it's cheaper to buy the American product because of the tariff, then people are going to buy the American product. But once again, you'd have to look at each individual product to understand if that's the case. And in many cases, it's not. Because if it was cheaper to buy it in the United States, or just slightly more expensive, it's probably the case that people would just buy the American product. But they're not. They're for example, BMW cars or Mercedes or Volkswagen. These cars are being imported because, well, American consumers like those cars. They prefer them over American vehicles. They'll be more expensive So we're going to have to see if it's too expensive for the American consumer or if they're willing just to pay more. But at the end of the day, the American consumer is losing out, not Donald Trump. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.